What's going on, everybody? And welcome back to Where's AJ Fishing Today. But today AJ is not fishing because it is about 20 degrees cooler than it has been the last 3 or 4 or 5 days. It's 56 degrees, it's raining, it's cold. So I thought, since I haven't posted a video in over a week, I'll come on out here to the shop, get some things organized, figure out what I've got left. What I got left, yeah, I had a little accident Saturday in a kayak tournament and flipped my kayak, lost quite a few things, lost my best rod and reel, lost another rod and reel, lost a whole tackle bag like this full. And you know what else was in this tackle bag? My bugger grip fish scale. That's tough. Hopefully, I'm going to go next Saturday, or this coming up Saturday. And not only am I going to go fishing for fish, but I'm going to go fishing for my stuff. And another thing I lost was my brand new iPhone 11 Pro Max. That's what I do all my videoing on, all my editing, everything I do right on that phone. And that's one of the main reasons I have not posted a video in over a week, because I had a few fishing trips stored on that phone. Phone's gone. So I thought I would just come out here and just let everybody know that I've got some fishing trips planned this week. I was going to go today. I didn't know it was going to quite be this bad. But anyway. So, figure I'll let you know one of the things I lost. I lost, which to me, I bought 2 of them. And I bought 2 of them just for the place where I was using them. I don't use them anywhere else. I only bought them from there. And that's this reel right here. I'm down to 1 of them. And that reel is the a Super Duty G Speed Spool LFS with 11 ball bearings. It's a tough place where I take these reels to. Probably 50% of the time when I set the hook on a fish, they have me wrapped up. And between this reel and 15 to a 20 pound fluorocarbon, I can pull them out. Most of the time I can pull them out. But and when I lost, well, when I flipped the kayak, I was in the process of reeling in a fish. And I feel pretty good that it was a great big fish. 2 factors here. When I record, my phone's on my chest. And if I'd have had it on my chest recording at that time, I'd probably still have my phone. But prior to me flipping the kayak, I took the phone off my chest to answer a text. And while I was looking and reading my text, I felt the fish pull. And when the fish pulled, the fish was gone with it. I mean, absolutely gone with it. So I dropped the phone in the middle of the kayak, set the hook, and immediately the fish had me wrapped up. And due to that fish being probably a right nice fish, it kind of pulled my kayak around. I fished out of a kayak long enough, and I've caught enough big fish on the kayak to know that when a fish pulls your kayak, it's not a little fish. I kind of know, you know what I mean? If you fish a kayak, you know exactly what I'm talking about. You catch a 1, 2, 3 pounder and you set the hook. I mean, basically your kayak sits right there. But you catch one over 5, 6 pounds and you kind of come along for a short little ride. And that's what happened Saturday. When that fish took off and I set that hook, and the fish had a little bit more leverage, I guess, because he had me wrapped around a tree. The back end of my kayak, I just come on around. And when it came on around, I had a fishing pole hanging off the back, spare fishing pole. That fishing pole got caught up in another tree. And it got caught up good, and it got caught up tight. And the more my kayak come around, the more it started leaning my kayak. So I stopped worrying about the fish. So I kind of turned around to see if I could, free it. Nope, I don't know where it went. But the funny part, if there is a funny part, The funny part is after I flipped, I made it to a tree, and yes, I did have on a life jacket. It was one of those you have to pull it yourself for it to inflate. But I didn't worry about it because I was close to a tree. So I swam on over to a tree and I head onto a tree, and I want to thank the two different boats that come and help me out. Two guys I knew, two guys I didn't. But the two guys I didn't know, they showed up real fast because they were a whole lot closer than my buddies in a boat that was about 150 yards away. And then they had to maneuver through a minefield of stumps to get to me. But I actually had a death grip on the tree. I'm going to show you some pictures. So I was fine. When the first boat showed up, they were kind of worried about me being cold. Yeah, the water was chilly, but it wasn't that bad. I pleaded with them, don't worry about me and please get the rest of my stuff. I already saw some of it sink, and I didn't want no more of it to sink. So I kind of talked them into not worrying about me and kind of scooping up my stuff. So I appreciate it, guys. And I appreciate BJ and Gene coming, and they scooped me up, put me in the boat, and kind of sat there for a little bit, got everything back right. And then I got back in my kayak and I headed out. Like I say, this was a tournament going on, and I stopped. I went on ahead into the closest town, and I was 2 hours away from home, but I went on ahead into the closest town, and they actually had a cell phone store that I deal with. So I went in there and got a new phone. Then I decided I'm gonna go back because this was a 13-hour tournament. And by the time I was done getting my phone, it was about 12:30, 1 o'clock. Still have plenty of time to go. Then I realized that I lost a tray about this size that was full and had every hook and weight and shaky head and Ned head and just my terminal tackle. This thing was jam-packed. Well, guess where that's at? Yep, the bottom of the lake. So after I figured that out, I went to the local Walmart, and their fishing department was empty, completely wiped out. They had a few baits, I mean very few. If you've been to the grocery store here lately or to Walmart and you went to go get some toilet paper and you saw that empty line of shelf, that's what the fishing department looked like in this town. And they have not restocked. They had no weights, no hooks, hardly any plastic bait, which I didn't need any plastic bait because I still had this bag. This bag was floating, and this bag was floating. So I had the bait I needed, but I couldn't use the bait without my hooks and my weights. Because I fished this place long enough to know what's biting right now, and all my other bait was useless. I could throw it, but I wasn't gonna catch anything. So I just took the rest of the day off. Kind of boring, but sucks a little bit. But I'm definitely going back Saturday. I'm going with a magnet. So I'm going to try to get my phone back. Because one of the guys I follow on YouTube, he finds iPhones older than my iPhone 11 underwater. And he takes them home and he pops the cover off the back. He throws them in some rice. He dries them off. He charges them up and they work again. So if they work again, I'm going to have some good footage. If I can get it back. I know exactly where I flipped. I know that fish had me hung up, so that line should be still wrapped around that tree. Shouldn't have a hard time getting that back. And then the picture that you saw, my kayak was off just a little bit, and I do believe some of my stuff was under that kayak. You know, when they flipped it over, some more stuff was visible. So I think that's where that tackle bag was that sunk. So that was off from the tree a little bit. Number two, my daddy has one of those old underwater cameras. I don't know if anybody's ever seen one. It comes with a TV screen and about a 30-foot of wire, and it's got a little plastic fish at the end, and the mouth of the fish is a TV camera. So I'm going to take that, and hopefully I can get my tackle bag back. Baits are not that important, but that booger fish scale is. I really, really want that back. Everybody knows how much a boga fish scale is. It's over $100. That other fishing rod that I lost was a spinning reel. The rod wasn't worth but about $30, but the reel that was on it was worth close to 100. Would really like that back. Most of it should be initially where the kayak flipped over first, but I'm gonna take as much time as I can to try to get it back. But anyway, all right. So yesterday I finally went to town and I stocked up on starting a brand new terminal tackle tray. Most of all the stuff I need. I thought this was a trash bag earlier, so I'm digging through, not trash, but when I was cleaning up in here, some old cases, old hook cases and stuff are in here I'm having to weed through. Oh my goodness. Well, I know this video is probably going to be boring to a lot of you, but I need to post something. I need to keep it going. Been kind of slack. I told myself from the beginning I wanted to at least post 2 a week, and all I've been doing is posting 1 a week. But you got to realize I do work a job, and then I go fishing. Sometimes I go fishing and I don't catch a fish. As a bass fisherman, we all know that. But so when I went, I got me some shaky heads, some different shaky heads. Then when I first went to Walmart, all they had was hooks. Worm hooks, shaky head hooks. I really don't use too many Ned rig hooks. Because where I fish, if you use a Ned rig, you ain't getting it back. So I like to buy the little short shank. Is that one of these? Yeah. The little short shank, 1/8 ounce shaky heads. And that's what I put my little Ned baits on. And I bought this. I didn't know how this would work. Did anybody ever use one of these? One of these things? I'm going to use this on the swim baits. I don't know, we'll see. So like I said, when I went to Walmart, they didn't have the first bullet weight. So I'm like, golly, I ain't gonna be able to go fishing tomorrow. Which is actually today, but it's raining. So I went by old hardware store, and guess what they had? Bullet weights. So I'm good to go on the terminal side right now. Also bought some of these. Sometimes I buy some of the stupidest stuff. So I bought some of these for my smaller swim baits. But anyway. So I guess while I'm out here, I'll kind of show you my setups that I use. And I know in some of these videos, y'all see me using some Black Maxes. And with those Black Maxes, you're seeing this little white stuff on my thumb clicker. So if you've been wondering, yeah, Black Max. I'm one of them guys. A $50, $60 reel has done me fine. I did buy those 2 expensive loose Super Duty G's. But for the most part, I like a Black Max. Now, I bought these 3 Black Maxes, if I can remember right, about 6 years ago. Maybe 7 years ago, I'm not for sure. But I bought 3 at the same time. This one. This one. And this one. Alright. Bought them at the same time. Obviously, I went through at the right time and bought a good stock of them. Whoever made these needs a raise. Because I have bought Black Maxes since then, and they don't last a minute. But these 3, I don't know how they're working. Because I absolutely wear them out. I have worn them out to the point where all 3 of them, see that little white right there on the clicker? See that little white right there on the clicker? And on this one, it's the same thing. I have wore them clickers out so bad that I had to fill them with 100% silicone. And I tried a lot of stuff to fill this gap, but it kept hurting my thumb. And finally I went and got some silicone, filled it in, and they've been on here for a couple months now. And it's working out. It doesn't hurt my finger, nothing. So, like I said, I have bought some Black Max reels since these three, and they didn't last a hot minute. I've got them sitting right up there with the junk reels. Don't make no sense, but anyway, these three, you don't have enough money to buy these three, because these are probably the best three I got. And I'm down on reels. I actually have 2 riding reels in that lake. And there's a place where Ashley takes me. 1, 2. I think I have 2 reels in that lake. In the creek that I fish, that I have not put a video up yet, I've got a reel in there. And that's actually one of the Black Maxes that I bought. I think I bought 4 or 5. And I think 2 of them on the lake. So, one's in a pond and one's in a creek. But anyway, I did try this. Bass Pro Shop put their Qualifier 2 on sale last year. It's a $99 reel. Had it on sale for $49. It's a pretty good reel. It's not my go-to reel. My go-to reel are these Black Maxes right here. And then of course I bought 3 of these at one time. They are Lew's Super Duty Laser MGs. I bought 3 of these at the same time. Well, I bought 3 of these at the same time, and 2 of them are sitting up there with the junk reels. They lasted pretty good because I wore them out too. I gave these Black Maxes and these cheaper Lew's, I think these were $49 a piece. So they might have been $59. But I've got one that's still kicking. So really that's all I have to show you, because I have lost quite a few reels. Let me tell you what, in a kayak, I've learned my lesson. I'm going to sit back and I'm going to take in all the mistakes that I've made on a kayak. And I'm tired of spending money because I lose something. It's about the craziest thing ever. Oh my gosh. But anyway. Well, just wanted to let y'all know what happened. And just remember, the only reason I flipped that kayak was because of that riding reel that was hanging off the back of the kayak. Okay? To me, after sitting back thinking about it, that's why I flipped that kayak. That riding reel sticking out the back and got hung up in a tree. Now, if I wasn't fighting the fish, could I have untangled it quicker? Probably. Maybe. Who knows? But at that particular moment, that riding reel getting hung up in that tree was the only reason that kayak flipped. So be careful. Normally I don't put one back there. I've got a fishing buddy that'll tell you. He told me, he said, well, why did you have one back there? You never put one back there. He's right. I never put one back there. Normally I only take 2 riding reels with me. All right? I have lost 2 or 3. I've lost 3 riding reels off of that kayak. And all 3 times is when I have taken more than 2 riding reels. Because my kayak is set up to hold, the way I want it to, 2 riding reels. And yeah, you got the places in the back that'll hold 2 more, but you saw what happened. So I will never, ever, under any circumstance, take more than 2 riding reels. I just have to keep retying if I want to change baits, because I'm sick and tired of losing my stuff. It's costly. This past weekend was very costly. I estimated, with the phone being added, around $2,000, maybe a little bit more is what it cost me. But hopefully I'm going to get it back, at least some of it back. I don't know how that magnet's going to work with that phone, but I know when I was in the store, the guy had a magnet on his keychain and he stuck it to his phone and it stuck. It was a very light stick, but of course his magnet wasn't as big around as a marble. But a buddy of mine's got a great big magnet, so Ain't no telling what I'm gonna pull up. But anyway, y'all just be careful. Be careful with being on a kayak. It sure slowed me down a little bit. And my buddy says, so when you gonna sell it? Well, I'm not gonna sell it. I'm just never going back there again on a kayak. And you wanna know why I'm never going back there again on a kayak? Because let me tell you what happened before I flipped. As soon as I put in that lake, I didn't go 150 yards and I got hung up on a stump. And I get hung up on stumps all the time. And these places we go to, those stumps ain't but 2, 3, 4 foot long. But them stumps out there where I went, they're in 10, 15, 20, 30 foot of water. And when you get stuck on one, and one of them stumps gets caught up in that scupper hole, you forget it. Because in these places around here, you can rock yourself off of it. Because those stumps don't move. But in that place, those stumps, they sway. And when they sway, you're locked in. So the first stump, I had to call somebody. Actually, it was the same Gene and BJ. I called them over and they had to hook a rope to me and pull me off the stump. That's how bad it was. And then about an hour later, I got stuck on another stump. But there was nobody else around to help me. Nah, I was stuck. I was swaying that thing back and forth, and all that stump was doing was moving with me. Because really it's not a stump, just broken off treetop. Just moving along with me. So finally, I had to climb. I had to crawl to the very tip of my kayak to get that thing to lift up. And it was just a little breeze, but it was enough to send me away from the stump. That was number 2. All right? And I know this, the third thing that happened, could happen anywhere. But I was sitting there, and I happened to look, and I saw something coming through the water. Now, I'm not scared of snakes, okay? I mean, they don't bother me. But this one, I saw it coming from 75 to 100 yards because it was a gigantic snake. It was 6 foot long, and it was as big around as my wrist. I mean, that snake was that big around, and it was coming. So if I get my phone back and I get it to work, you'll be able to see this footage. But this snake was coming right for me, just coming on. It's coming on, and I had my phone and I was recording it, and it kept getting closer and closer, straight to me. So I guess it got about 20, 25 yards away from me, and I had phone in one hand and paddle in the other. I was getting ready to go to swing because this snake was moving. And that snake got just far enough to where I probably couldn't have reached it with the kayak. And it stopped and it looked at me. It picked that head up and it started looking at me and throwing that tongue out at me. And I'm like, oh, Lord. Because, sitting in that kayak, you ain't that far off the water. That snake doesn't have to do much to come on and get in your lap. And that's where he was headed. But finally, he just eased on around me. I don't think he was coming to me. I think I was just in his way. That snake knew where it wanted to go, and I was just in his way. But anyway, and then the fourth thing was a flip kayak. So I had a pretty bad day. All that happened between the hours of 7 and 10:30. I had enough. No more kayak there, I promise you. So I'm going to get all my stuff together. And hopefully tomorrow, suppose it'll rain a little bit tomorrow, but not like it's raining today. And it's a cold rain. It's pretty cold, so I'm just not going to deal with it. But I promise you I'll have some more videos coming. Going to have more videos from that place in Virginia. But of course, I mean, you all know our spring has been the coolest spring we've probably had in history. We have actually had a spring and not winter to summer, which I think is still a pretty high above average spring, for the coolness that we've had. So the fish ain't acting right there yet, but they're right there. I'm catching them on the bait. And once that bait is on, I'm gonna start catching some big fish, and y'all will enjoy that because I really enjoy it. Last year I caught 23 fish over 20 inches, and I think 19 of them come from there. And that's not counting I think I caught 17 fish in the 19-inch range, and most of them come from there. So once this particular bait bite starts, I'm gonna have some awesome videos for y'all. So y'all stay tuned. Well, I'm sorry this video took so long, and I'm sorry it's not a fishing video, but I figured I needed to post something. So I wanted to let you know why I had not posted a video in over a week. So everybody, until the next cast,